But one thing that you're gonna call me is champion.
All right, guys, we gonna talk about Kelani Jordan, who just recently turned heel on an episode of NXT while defending the TNA Knockout Championship. We gonna discuss the whole possibility and why Kelani is still rising. Hey guys, we back at the Pink Square Circle. We'll talk about Kelani Jordan. He'll run his interesting at the Pink Square Circle. Kelani Jordan, who turned heel in a match defending the TNA Knockout Championship against Jordynne Grace, and she ended the match by retaining it, but also hitting Jordan with the belt, causing Kelani to become a heel now. Now we know that Kelani has been questioned for quite some weeks. We saw it with Jordynne Grace questioning Kelani Jordan's her loyalty to NXT, and also we know Kelani was the team captain for the women's the showdown match against TNA versus NXT. But if you guys know in my other video, I did talk about Kelani Jordan, why her stock has risen since she won the TNA Knockout Championship. I said that WWE has value and they see value in her, and they definitely see a bright future of Kelani Jordan. So her turning heel was great. I knew they believed in her when they put the TNA Knockouts Championship on her when Ash by Elegance vacated back at Victory Road. So we knew something was going to happen with Kelani with this run, because as history shows, most people, men or women from NXT who hold a TNA World Championship, they more likely are a heel character. We saw with Trick Williams, we saw with JC Jane. Kelani Jordan will be the third person from NXT to hold the championship for TNA, but she's also a heel character now. So we saw that. But we're going to see. Kelani Jordan did talk about her upcoming rise in an interview on the episode of TNA NXT, I believe.
Kelani Jordan, thank you so much for your time. I want to talk about your reign as the TNA Knockouts champion in comparison to being the first ever NXT Women's North American champion. What's been the difference?
Time. When I was the first ever Women's North American champion, I didn't have the experience that I do now. I felt the need to people please. I felt the need to set the tone for that title. And honestly, I was just so happy that I finally got my first championship. But now, as TNA Knockouts World Champion, I don't feel that pressure anymore. I don't feel the need to prove myself to anyone. I'm not handing out title opportunities, because when I tried to do things the right way, you wanna know what I got? Kicked out of the locker room and a bunch of ungrateful women. So now I'm staying in my own lane, and I'm gonna continue the lineage of great women who carry this title.
All right, well, let's talk about the TNA Knockouts division. Obviously, Ash by Elegance had to vacate the title, but you had a really great relationship with Ash. Can you talk to me about that?
Honestly, there's no better woman to get this title after Ash vacated it, because it's a full circle moment. Me and Ash, we actually go way back. She was my mentor here at NXT, and not only that, she showed me the ropes. She cheered for me so loud that when people were booing me, I couldn't even hear them. She believed in me when no one else did, and I'll forever be grateful for that. Because they say, you never forget how people make you feel, and she made me feel like I was a champion even before I was a champion.
Well, let's talk about potential challengers for that title in the TNA locker room.
Well, there's a few people that I'm familiar with already at TNA, such as Lei Ying Lee. I actually beat her to get this title. I'm familiar with Indy Hartwell, who was my first title defense at Bound for Glory. Beat her too. And I'm also familiar with Mara Sade, because we shared a locker room. We also were on the same team at Showdown. But there are a lot of people at TNA that I'm not so familiar with, like Tessa Blanchard, Tasha Steelz, the Elegance brand, Zaya Brookside, and the list goes on. But honestly, I encourage them to challenge me, because the result's gonna remain the same. And still, your TNA Knockouts World Champion, Kelani Jordan.
All right, after what you said at NXT and your attitude today, do you think it can get lonely as a TNA Knockouts champion?
Of course, Sarah. Don't they say it gets lonely at the top? But the same friends that I had when I was a challenger are the same friends who packed my stuff up and threw it out the locker room when I became champion. So I'm not gonna let you label me. I'm not gonna let TNA, NXT, or anyone watching put a label on me. Because they always wanna see you doing good, but never better than them.
That leads me to your title defense at Gold Rush. You have a triple threat match against Jordynne Grace and Lei Ying Lee. You didn't want that match. Why?
Lei Ying Lee, Sarah, is a great striker. You wanna know how I know that? Because I beat her. Jordynne Grace, an amazing powerhouse. You wanna know how I know that? Because I beat her. Do you understand? I've already beaten both of them. So no, I didn't want the match. But since Santino, who's director of authority, just wants to throw out title matches to just anyone who didn't qualify, even though that's below me, I'm just gonna do it and defend this title with prestige and honor.
Well, how do you plan on walking out and retaining the TNA Knockouts Championship at Gold Rush?
You have eyes, right, Sarah? So you can see that there's no woman in either locker room that is as talented as me, as innovative as me, as athletic as me. So what do I need to do to walk out as champion? Just be Kelani Jordan.
I have to say, Kelani, with her promos on NXT and also the interview she did with on NXT, talking about her becoming TNA Knockouts champion, and now she's in the heel character. I like her tapping into this new persona. She's saying she's not handing out championships. She also said that when she won the Women's North American Championship, she was trying to prove herself and, you know, do everything by the book. But she said all of that's over once she got criticized by the NXT women division of the locker room when it came to the whole TNA versus NXT at Showdown. She said, remember, Kelani Jordan got kicked out of the locker room. So that gave a good reason why she would turn heel. You know, all the women that came up with her in NXT was questioning her, and they weren't showing her, you know, giving her flowers. They thought she was just some traitor. But it turned out that Kelani got tired of it, and she just flipped, especially Jordynne Grace. Their interaction between Jordynne Grace and Kelani Jordan, we knew it's going to come to its rearing head at some given point. And that happened at the championship match between Jordan and Kelani. But Kelani, I do like this role she's in. And the recent promo that she did at NXT, talking about how you guys cheer for people like Cody Rhodes and Dominik Mysterio, who use a belt to win their championship matches, and you won't cheer for her. So she has a point. She has all good, valid reason to be heel, and everything she said in her promos are true. She's not making it up. So basically, the people, the women in NXT and the fans turned on Kelani, and they made her a heel. And I could see Kelani having a great heel run. Now, I was concerned about Kelani's promos at first. You know, she wasn't there, but she's gotten better at her promos, and she's more confident in her promos. So I like what she's saying. I know she addressed the social media in that promo this past NXT episode. I know she also addressed how they go against, for you 1 minute, then they turn against you. And she says she's not a girl with a fat ass and catchphrases. She was spitting fire in the promo. I would say Kelani Jordan's going to have a very good run with the TNA Knockouts Championship, similar to how Jacy Jayne earlier this year had a run with the TNA Knockouts Championship, maybe even better than Jacy Jayne, because we know Jacy Jayne was carrying on 2 belts. Kelani only got 1. So we'll probably see more of Kelani on TNA Impact every Thursday, rather than see her so much on NXT every Tuesday. We'll see her, but since she is carrying a TNA Championship, we can see that happening. Now, I do know that she's soon to defend the TNA Knockouts Championship in a triple threat, and it's at Gold Rush. It's against Jordynne Grace. You know, I think Jordynne Grace is one of them, but I know she's defending the triple threat, and it's going to be crazy. I think it's Leilani Lee and Jordynne Grace. So that's going to be a good matchup. And like Kelani Jordan said in the interview, she's defeated both of those women already. Lei Ying Lee, you know, to win the belt, and Jordynne Grace on her last title defense on NXT. So Jordynne Grace and Lei Ying Lee, you better watch out for Kelani. She's a standout. She said no one does it like Lani, and she's showing it now. You know, a lot of people was not for Kelani at first, said she was cringe on the mic, she was kind of botchy. Come on, this is NXT developmental, as they say. You gotta give them a chance. And Kelani, she's been really coming to her own in the past year. I've been seeing some growth in her. Definitely when she won the Women's North American Championship, I definitely see growth for her there too. So Kelani's getting better. This is her first time being a heel, especially as a heel champion. She's only gonna get better. I can see her having the belt for a good, maybe, we'll wing it at least 3 months, maybe 6 to 8 months. We'll say a good 6 to 8 months. If not 8 months, at least close to 6 months. She'll have a good run. But you guys let me know what you think of Kelani Jordan recently turning heel. And that's really all I have for Kelani Jordan heel run. Is interesting. We're talking about Kelani Jordan has arrived. Check out the video below. And until then, guys, I will see you guys later.